If you want to be my friend, you would better go and get a pen. Or maybe we can keep in touch like we did in the old days. It wasn't so long ago. Oh, 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 oh. I wish you well. Yes, I do. Oh, 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 oh. Sign your pen, pal. Do you think Patrick Keenan of the Winter Sounds, who did that song, listens to this podcast and he's like, God, I wish they'd shut the fuck up and we could hear my voice. I thought you were going to say, do you think he wells up? Like, do you think he cries every time? Would you? He listens weekly and cries every time. 4.5 years.
If True Patronies submitted suggestions for...
True Patronies should be able to play it on an instrument by now. Even if they don't know how to play an instrument. At least.
Or on the
minimal a triangle.
Or on the spoons.
If you want to be my friend...
Do you think True Patronies should, not that we would take it, have the right to suggest styles in which we sing the theme song?
Maybe. Not that we'll take it. Subject to
not
change.
That we take it. How would we even prove? How would we even prove they're a Patronite?
Hashtag, how would we even prove that they're a Patroni or not?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Rory.
We are wearing the same clothes from last week.
The exact same time.
I already knew it.
You did this to me?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear what I wore last week just to see if Daniel notices. And then I noticed that you did it and that also Lissa weirdly did it. And I was like, what is going on? But that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that every Wednesday when we record live and in real time that we... By the way, this is in real time.
2 weeks in a row.
This is in real time, even if you're listening on Thursday. This is happening right now.
Well, these aren't going to be back to back, are they?
Mm-hmm. This is happening right now. This is right now.
Pull over. Who is that guy over there?
Who? Yeah.
Call your kids.
Yeah.
In class.
Yeah.
And say, you always answer when I call. I don't care if it's the middle of school.
Yeah. And that's because Daniel doesn't respect education.
Mm-mm.
Well, you didn't have that in Rochelle. That's why you don't understand it.
Would you put an AirTag in your daughter's backpack?
You know, people are putting AirTags under cars that aren't even theirs just to follow people and see what they're doing.
But then you know what happens.
What happens?
Eventually, it alerts you that there's an AirTag near you.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And then you know what happens?
What?
Your phone will tell you right where it fucking is. And then you know what will happen because all AirTags are attached to your Apple ID.
To an account?
Yeah. They know exactly who you fucking are.
They didn't seem to mention that in the article. I didn't know that was a thing.
There are 2 women currently suing Apple because shitty men, believe it or not, used an AirTag to track them.
Yes.
What I feel, look, their experience. I don't know the entire experience.
How do you sue Apple for that?
Because they create a device in which people can track other people. But Apple's their counter argument to that is going to be...
Apple's whole product is.
Apple's... Yeah.
That's
you know what Apple's counter
technology now.
You know what their counter argument to that is?
What?
Do you know how you know these people were stalking you?
Oh, because we did it.
Because we fucking told you.
Yeah.
So the reason this person is now brought up on charges is because of us.
Yeah.
Before anything escalated, you didn't even have to have a face-to-face, horrible.
I gotta get these AirTags. I gotta get them. I just gotta.
I've seen family members who have other family members or a family member with dementia, and they've put them on it looks like a bracelet or a
smart.
Yeah,
smart.
Yeah,
smart.
Let's do it.
Let's go to the letters.
We hit home plate at the same time.
That's all that matters. That we put the points on the board.
Well, you went both
fucking. Which I don't even know what we're doing.
I got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Dear pals.
Okay,
Somebody
I'll
didn't
read
want
the
to
one
make you
that's
feel
clearly
bad.
a fucking novel. Good Lord, who wrote that?
You picked that.
Oh, that's right.
From them.
Oh, that's right.
Dear pals. I recently ran into a friend of mine's ex-girlfriend at a concert.
What was it? Name the concert.
And
guess.
What drugs?
Guess the drugs in the concert. We'll be right back after these messages.
Since then, we've been keeping in touch with each other and communicating pretty frequently. It feels like there's a mutual attraction between us, but I have reservations about asking her out since she used to date a friend of mine. They broke up about 3 or 4 years ago, and it seemed like it was pretty much a mutual decision. My friend now has a girlfriend and a newborn baby. Hope the baby and the girlfriend know about each other.
Sorry.
You're leaving me? If you've only ever listened,
Then you don't know
you have
the joy.
no idea.
And also, I kind of like that.
Oh, I respect your game, but you're not part of the Friday Watch team.
You got to be on the Friday Watch team, the FWT.
Okay. They broke up about 3 or 4 years ago, and it seemed like it was a pretty mutual decision. He now has that girlfriend and baby we talked about. We live in different cities and have gradually drifted apart over the last few years, but I don't want to create any bad blood between us. What should I do? Have either of you ever dated a friend's ex or had a friend date your ex? Love the show. Your pal, Luke.
Bibbidi boop bop, snappity poops.
Taco night.
Taco Tuesday. I'm gonna get right into this.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's kind of hot, and I don't know why.
Well,
I
there's
find
a-
a hotness
Well,
to it. Am I wrong?
Anything that is consensual, but also we shouldn't, is hot.
There's a hotness to we shouldn't.
That is like
Even though I gotta
I'm
say-
saying legal and consensual.
Yes, all that aside. All that aside. And
they're like,
all
we
that
shouldn't do
assumed,
that.
I should
We
say.
shouldn't be
All
doing
that
this.
assumed.
We shouldn't be doing this in the office.
This is
Shouldn't be.
all, to me, this is all in the clear. I gotta
All of it.
Every element of this is in the
But
clear
do
for
you
me.
say anything?
Yes, if you
Okay.
want to.
That's so part of the
But also, if you
part of the
drifted
going
apart
clear,
over
and we
the
are
last few
huge
years-
fans of going clear.
We love going
Part
clear.
of going clear is saying to your
is
friend,
finding exes
hey,
and trying to date them, other people's exes. I gotta say, you and your friend have drifted apart. They broke up 3 or 4 years ago. That guy has moved on. She's moved on. I think you can just say, hey, almost not in this like you've done something wrong, or even asking for permission. I'm not saying that's how you'd bring it up.
no, but the
in this
qualifiers
very,
you're
like-
giving are huge too.
And
We're
I
not
just-
speaking.
And
in
I
a
know that we're
vacuum
like
here.
close, and I know I just want to. You're the way the world works now with social media and stuff. There's a chance you're going to find out anyways. I just want you to know that so and so and I.
How far in though?
have
Because
been
right now
dating.
it feels like an attraction. Are you? If I this is for me. If you've been dating 4 to 6 weeks.
I ask her out. I think ask her
Yes,
out.
100%.
Ask her
But
out.
I'm saying 4 to 6 weeks is when you give the heads up. Don't give a heads up. I'm attracted to your ex, and
Not
you guys
at
haven't even
all.
gone on a date.
No.
I don't. Why are
No.
you telling me this?
The dating, not at all. If you get to the point where
4 to
you
6
both
weeks.
say we are a couple,
Thing. Yeah.
then
You wanna go away
if
for the
you
weekend.
so desire, and also let's be very clear. This is not one person's choice. She's the ex. She can also be like, no, I don't want to fucking. Why are we? And
Yeah, you're assuming. That's why I'm saying you're
Yeah.
assuming that there is a thing.
First
here.
off, I'm going under the assumption that this is going to become a relationship. If it becomes a relationship,
Love you
and
for that.
only then do you even need to put on the table, do we tell so-and-so? I don't think you have to. I don't think it's a big deal if you do, but she's a part of this as well. So that is just whatever
The
we
reason
say here, we can give you some points that we think are valid, but
Yeah.
the reality
which
is
we tend to do.
yeah, the reality is it's going to
Hopefully.
come down to what you two mutually agree upon. But from the outside, looking in, based off all this information you just gave me, I don't think it's a big
That's a
fucking
good
deal.
question, though. Who does tell the friend, the person who goes, "Hey, as your ex, I wanted to let you know,"
even
or
better.
is it the friend
God,
who
what
tells the friend
The irony that this is what breaks them up.
about who
Yeah,
tells?
No, you tell him. You know,
Yeah.
you always want me to do it. This fucks up the relationship.
Yeah,
That guy has a girlfriend and a newborn baby. That guy is if the other friend were to have any
yeah. You know what your real problem
just in
might
case
be?
that's what we're getting
Your real
to.
problem might be that your friend is like, "Oh, will you talk to me about what sex is like with her? Because I am tired and I'm in a whole other life now."
Good for
Yeah.
Good for you.
And then you know what you say? You go, "Yeah, let me just run it by her if it's cool if I talk about our sex life with you."
yeah. Let me just remember her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
If
go-
this guy had a problem with it, he's psychotic.
if he had a problem with it, he needs to break up with his girlfriend.
But also, you said you've already drifted apart over the last few years. That alone is its own fucking thing to where you don't have to tell him. You don't have to tell him. It's not his life.
I think you do.
And how he
just
feels
hate,
about it.
I don't want him calling me. That's why I would tell.
But here's the thing.
'Cause
Even if he called you, I would go, I think I'd see why we drifted apart. You know what? Actually, I'm changing my answer. Fuck this. You don't owe this guy.
I'm repositioned.
I'm repositioning. You don't owe this guy anything. His feelings about this situation are entirely his own.
Yeah, because we're not saying
He's
don't
his
do
own
it.
person.
You never said don't do it. We're both saying do it. Pursue it. See if there's something there.
The only reason I say maybe, I think Daniel makes a good point. You don't want to get the call, but to me, that is a fucking psychotic call.
I agree, but I don't want to get the call.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's
so I don't know how far
call.
drifted apart is. I don't know how close you were. If
Valid.
it's a once a year hang, twice a year hang, if
Valid.
it's a class reunion thing, whatever it matters to you, gauge your own awkwardness.
Yes.
But I would just be like, hey, you remember? I always use his name. You remember Sarah? And then they go, yeah, great. Her and I reconnected with each other, and I think there might be something there. I just want to let you know. I can't imagine you'd give a fuck.
Yeah.
If you do,
Do you want to hear my reposition? You want to hear the grounds for my reposition?
Good luck. Yeah.
After college, my best friend dated a girl I dated in my girlfriend from high school. It did not. It
Why
actually
should it?
It brought me joy.
You guys moved on. It didn't work out.
It brought me joy. I was like, either way, these two people are in my life.
Right.
I am actively friends with both of them. At no point did it feel strange or. Here's where it would feel strange. If I was constantly communicating to my best friend that I still had feelings, then I would go, now we're in a different area.
I'm going to reposition. That's the thing I'm saying here. If you're going to say this, well, Daniel and Rory said these two said that you could go date your ex.
Yeah.
We're talking about these qualifiers.
That's what we're talking about.
If somebody goes, hey, they
you're hurting me.
Well, I'm passionate. If somebody goes, well, they were abusive to me, or they broke my heart, or, oh, it's my best friend and we're roommates and I'm attracted to his ex. Don't do this. Then don't. We're talking about these qualifiers. Drifted apart years ago. Person has a baby and they've moved on.
But here's what I want to say. The qualifiers.
Qualifiers always matter.
Fuck the qualifiers.
If you said to me, should I quit my job? I'd go, well, tell me the qualifiers.
Hashtag FTQ. Fuck the qualifiers.
Whoa.
Here's what I think. Live your life. If that guy has an issue with it, that is his weird shit that he's got to deal with.
I agree, and those fall into the qualifiers too.
What I appreciate here is that it's fucking hot. It's hot. Don't ever stop.
It's potentially hot.
Don't you ever turn off the heat?
The HSO.
The HSO.
But there's nothing even here yet. You're getting hotted up by just the idea.
Here's the deal. And Luke, you're like me. You move fast. You know where it's going. And honestly, based on this letter and the hotness, it's going to end up where you think it's going. You're going to hit the target. But you are pulling the trigger a little fast, so I'd say pull back on that. That's what you do need to do. But then outside of that, you don't got to tell this guy. You could decide, the two of you might be like, yeah, let's just fucking tell him. But just so you know, this is something we didn't mention. By telling him, you're communicating to him that you think this is a thing that he's involved in that matters. And he doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you and I could have a conversation with almost any person, and in that conversation, let them know that they have no say in what we're talking about. And I think that's the way you would have to do it.
You'd have to. No, you don't have to be that aggressive.
No, I know.
That's why I think, if you've drifted apart anyways, who even fucking cares? Fuck this other dude. God, he's probably
I bet
he's a great dad.
Because let's say I
bet he's a great guy.
Let's say I do get the call, right?
I'm repositioning.
Hey, what's up? You're dating.
You're a shitty part. This guy was a good friend to you. He's a dad.
He's got a good life.
He wants her back.
He's got a good life.
And you know it. I don't know. What you gonna do?
There is a thing, last thing I'll say, where you could go, I do get the call, right? I don't make the call. I get the call. Hey, man.
Oh, you get the call.
And I go, hey, man. And he's like, are you and Sarah a thing? And I go, yeah. And he's like, you didn't think you need to tell me? I go, I don't. You really think this is a thing? I
don't even have you in my phone anymore.
Right. Like, this was a 702 number.
Yeah.
Are you in Vegas?
Where do you live now?
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's a thing where you go, oh, yeah, I guess, I mean, that was years ago.
You gonna tell your newborn about this call? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
And then have that playing in the background. If you do tell him through a phone call, play Frozen's Let It Go while you're talking on the phone. And let him be like, is that Let It Go in the back?
Or,
yeah. What do you hate, subliminal messaging?
Or just send him a link to this app.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I don't know where those guys stood on that. And he'll be like, granted, they positioned a lot.
They repositioned a lot, but they spoke with passion.
Yeah.
And I think that's what says the most.
All right, Luke.
Get out of here.
Let us know.
Obviously, let us know.
Yeah, you like reading steamy things.
But hey, keep it hot.
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly, to keep it hot, you maybe got to tell him and hope he doesn't approve of it.
Yeah, and every once in a while,
that's what keeps it hot, right?
Every once in a while, just text her and be like, "You're bad.
Hey,
you're so bad.
Hey, you want to come over and get into stuff we're not supposed to be doing?" She's like, "Why?"
We're
like,
bad.
Because you dated that guy a decade ago, and I don't even remember his name.
We're so bad.
The stakes are so low.
I know. All right, let us know.
What do you think the concert was? Oh, we're going to guess the concert. Luke, write us back. Keep us updated, but let us know the concert. What do you think the concert was? What's Luke listening to?
I'm gonna yeah,
I bet you it's so
there
not what you
independently.
Think. They're both there, but they're reconnecting from the past. Probably
I'm gonna go Chris Stapleton.
Oh, interesting. Do you know regionally where this?
No,
where this
I have no idea.
Not that matters, but that can matter.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna put a little bit. I'm gonna say Pantera. I'm gonna go Dave Matthews Band.
I thought the same thing, but that's because we went to one.
That's why I want it to be the truth.
Okay. All right. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk,
Rory Scovel.
We're back. I thought you were trying to do it backwards.
I almost said, let's go the letters.
Cabernet
Sauvignon. Is that how you say it? Sauvignon?
It'd be
Cabernet Sav. People say Cab Sav. You know why? Because none of us know how to. Sauvignon?
Cabernet.
Is that right? Care Bears?
Nah. That's and we're backwards.
Remember Care Bears?
Hell yeah. Care Bear Stare, dude.
RoryScovel.com for all my dates. Get on it if you want to. If you don't, great. But could you tell 10 people that maybe would? Because that helps ticket sales, which helps me. And I think that's probably it.
If you've never watched
Elysian on Mondays.
You should.
We had a show this past 2 nights ago. Then random dates for the rest of the summer. It's fun. It's fun.
And also now we're almost to April.
Yeah.
We'll let you know about the 5th birthday party.
We'll let you know
We'd
if
like
we
to
even do.
We'd like to do it, right?
We want to do it. But when is what?
If you're in Chicago, by the way, and you haven't been to After, do it.
Yeah. And I haven't either. But I'm not in Chicago.
I've been a couple times.
But you're
going to go.
The Rev Burger's
you're
back.
obviously going when you're
there. The Rev Burger's back. Served at After.
Oh,
Did you see that post?
No.
The Rev Burger, the famous burger.
Do you go Columbus?
From Curtis Duffy.
Do you go
in the mind of Michael Musso and Curtis Duffy comes the Rev Burger.
Do you go to Ohio to Chicago? Like when we were talking about possibly doing those together, was that Ohio into Chicago?
No.
Oh.
I think Ohio is after Michigan.
Okay. Not in the polls.
Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, then I go to Dayton. Dayton.
Stop.
Dayton.
Do a promo where you sing your dates. Not here, not now.
With a guitar.
Not here, not now. Where am I supposed to be?
I'm going to try to go see...
that's parody law.
I'm going to go see if Adam and the rest of Tool are going to be practicing for their upcoming show in May. And I'm going to see if I can go watch, and I'm going to be like, hey, can I do my promos for my tour while you guys are in the background just so I look... let me have some.
But you know what the bit is.
It's like
already know what the
butter.
bit is.
You're just taking some of the coolness and you're putting it on your dry.
And you know what the
toast.
bit is.
What?
Guys, can you not?
Guys, shut the
fuck up.
Anyways,
Oh my
I'm
God.
doing spoken word.
That's the bit.
If these arena selling motherfuckers can shut up for a second, I can tell you guys about my coffee shop tour.
You should ask Adam. Where are are you at? Where's yours? You should ask Adam and go, just at the end of each show, could you just, as people are leaving, the show's over. Your guys' artistic spectacle
just
is
say
over.
RoryScovel.com.
No, could you just throw my dates up on the screens?
Do you know what they
like
thought
that's not $1 million
what
idea.
Adam almost was gonna do was put on the screen at the end of the concert, maybe intermission, was Robbie now playing on Paramount Plus or Paramount Plus. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And he was like, yeah, I was like, we were going to do it. But he's like, and it opens up a whole can of worms of all of us now going, well, who gets to put a thing up and advertise what? And I was like, that's not trying to break up a band here. Do I do this?
Yeah. Oh, I love this.
Dear Daniel and Rory, I flipped a coin. I couldn't bear to pick a favorite.
But you know who did?
You fucked up.
You know who did pick a favorite? Fate.
Who's that?
She's this girl.
Have they written in?
Too much music.
I've never met someone named Fate.
I met someone named Faith.
Yeah, we've all met Faith. I was diagnosed bipolar at 16 and stubbornly refused to take the medication because it made me feel worse, deciding to ride out the highs and lows naturally. I can fully relate to so much of that. I'm saying that. Combined with unaddressed clinical depression and anxiety, cut to me spending my entire 20s an absolutely miserable, angry, scared, and antisocial alcoholic. I finally got sober nearly 4 years ago and thought that was enough to solve all my mental health problems. Of course, that was just the opening of the can of worms. Now in my early 30s and having spent my sober life in therapy, doing my own inner work and practicing meditation, it's only in the last few months that I've been able to overcome my resistance to taking medication.
I've never said this before. This is long. Feel free to tap me in.
This is a long one. Even now, in the very early stages of taking pills to help my mental health issues, I have seen such a dramatic shift in my mood, energy, everything. I'd say almost as much as getting sober, which was beyond life-changing. Backstory out of the way, this brings me to my question. I am an artist, and while I have already moved past the artist who needs to suffer for their work part of it, I still feel there is some kind of spiritual tether or string I was attached to when going through the more extreme ends of the mood spectrum, which was a source of deep, honest truth about the human experience. Accessing that space has allowed me to make works that people have connected with very strongly, and I would argue that that connection is the entire point of making art. It has also acted as a kind of therapy for me by being able to sit with those feelings or thoughts and craft them into a physical painting in a way, conquering them. So, with my mood stabilizing and elevating, and my quality of life rapidly improving, how do I think I should look at that string? Is my fondness of it some kind of Stockholm syndrome? Is it crazy to not want to be 100% cured and cut ties with it? As creative people yourselves, how do you access your own fountains of inspiration and human experience, even as your lives change and your understanding of the world around you changes? Being a creative person and making things, whether it be art or otherwise, is the main source of my self-satisfaction, and I hold so much pride in those skills. They also keep a roof over my head. I guess I'm nervous about how to approach the new era and how my habits and rhythms of creative inspiration will be forced to change. Alex, he, him. P.S. Everyone else does it, and I will too, because it deserves to be incessant. Thank you for years of laughs, wise insight, and reminding me that there are good humans out there with their heads screwed on properly. Well, half of the show anyways. P.P.S. I believe it was Rory who mentioned a few years back in an episode, #WhenIsWhat, that the Italian sandwich at Eagle Rock Deli was the best sandwich in Los Angeles. I recently had it after hearing your recommendation on my own on my way to becoming a paler, but I offer you this: run, don't walk to the Heights Deli and order yourself a Heights sandwich.
Rory, hold on.
I may fucking do that today.
Why would someone do this to themselves? You right.
I know. Don't even start.
Right.
If we don't address it, then maybe we stay on track.
But I'm just okay. But I won't address it.
I'm gonna get that sandwich today. Did I say the Italian sandwich at the Eagle Rock Deli is the best sandwich? I don't know that.
You told me not to address these things.
It is a very good sandwich. I may. Let me just. I have changed.
You're doing it.
I've changed.
Wait. On what?
That's not my favorite.
But
it's not. I don't think it's the best sandwich in Los Angeles.
We've derailed our derail. Our first
Which puts us back on the rail.
Our first derail is, why would someone do this to themselves? Send this thoughtful, and we made a bit of an exception.
This happens a
long
lot.
letter.
This happens a lot.
And then go,
sandwiches. Happens a lot.
This
Happens
is like taking your kids to the park to do their homework. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The ballpark, you mean?
what sandwich is your new favorite? I didn't get my sandwich today.
I don't think this
Not
is
that
a
I
sandwich
could've.
that is the best in LA, but it is a good sandwich. And I love that Alex went. Love that.
Love it too. Especially because
Um,
Alex lives in Indiana.
But the Heights Deli is going to be, I'm going to pursue that. I'll also throw you this, Alex. Bub and Grandma's mortadella, the muffaletta
Mm-hmm.
with the mortadella. I know mortadella's having a moment right now.
Yeah, so is muffaletta.
Deservedly so. It's
Uh-huh.
good. But it's good at Bub and Grandma's. Also, it's pre-made. It's right there in the thing. You just get, and they almost give it to you like a piece of cake, and you eat it. It's so fucking good.
I'll say next time you're in Chicago, JP Graziano's.
And I'll say this: the next time you go to Pizza Hut,
Meat lovers.
meat lovers, deep
Pan.
dish, deep hand tossed.
Ooh,
Did you know? And I think I've said this maybe to you.
this is our problem.
Pizza Hut has now opened a
Retros.
certain number of retros.
Yeah.
We
I
should hit
love
one
it.
up.
I would love to.
I wonder if it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Remember when that used to be Pizza Hut style?
This is a very unrochelle
You know what? You know
thing
what's
of me to
pizza?
say.
You know what? If you have a pizza place and you're like, we're a pizza place, and I don't know this a lot, but if you're saying we're classic style, we're a pizza place, I'm gonna know when I walk in based on the smell,
Yo, 100%.
but I'm also gonna know if you're not serving me that weird red
This is what I was gonna say.
transparent Coca-Cola cup.
Yeah.
I think it always had Coca-Cola, and the Coca-Cola's not like wildly scratched out
Right.
because it's been used 100 million times through the dishwasher.
Yeah.
If those two things don't happen, I'm not gonna look further to find out if I'm still gonna eat,
Sure.
and I might go, this is the best pizza I've ever had.
Right, but you know they have bad mushrooms.
If you don't have Double Dragon and Pac-Man,
Tabletop. The most Stone Rochelle thing I was gonna say is I now couldn't imagine drinking one of those big red glasses full of soda.
I know water. You're like great, hydration. Soda. You're like that's the whole week.
Hey, we melted down all this candy. You want to drink it?
Yeah, you're like yeah.
Want to drink all this candy
All
while
right.
you eat?
Derail the derailment of the derailing.
Okay.
I have a lot to say to this.
Long letter, but I think it's a very concise question.
It's a very concise question, and it's also written really well. I think it was
wasn't
written really
cursive.
well. No, I mean
I know, I'm
the
joking.
wording of it. It was like explained very
Yeah,
concisely.
that string.
I appreciate
That
it.
string that
'cause I'm-
tethered you to the string of drugs and things.
I'm not good at
altered
retaining.
mind that tethered you to
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah, I'm not good at retaining stuff, but this was written in a way where I was able to. Going to the medication thing, ADHD got off of Adderall because I didn't like what it was doing to me mentally. That's Adderall. That's obviously a different situation, but I did relate to that choice and the apprehension of the meds. But I gotta say, I fully understand the focusing on your own physical and mental well-being and health and being concerned that it will affect your artistic creative output. I think it all the time. I thought about it when I go to therapy. I live in this space of, but if I become healed or fixed in some way, will that affect my perception of where I find humor? Is my humor derived from some conflicted, traumatic experience as a child? And if I'm somehow able to reconcile that, will I lose this element that is myself? So I do understand that. As I've aged, I've come to conclude that while those things maybe sparked this comedy in me, potentially, I'm not saying it definitely did, but it could have. I don't think it can be eliminated. If I suddenly became wildly meditative and almost monk-like, I don't think you can kill the flame that is a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I think it's so a part of your id.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That you can't. I don't think
is.
it could go somewhere. So I say all that to get to my main point of, I don't think you're healing yourself is going to make you unable to create beautiful art. It may change you, but also that is also what art is. If a band puts out music that is never evolving and changing and growing, I don't know that I, as a consumer of art, am as attracted to that as I am a band that takes a wild swing and fails. I prefer that over someone giving me what they've already given me. So if you're like, I was in this dark space with dealing with my bipolar and depression and alcoholism and all these things, and it caused me to create incredible paintings and art, I think that's wonderful. If every chapter of this book is exactly the same, I don't think that's a very good book. And I think if you're changing by taking care of yourself, we're going to see a whole different output of what that art is, because at the core, and why I said the stuff about comedy and sense of humor, because at your core, you're an artist who paints. And I don't think these well-being changes can eliminate that flame that is you being a creative artistic painter.
I think you're exactly right. And I think that a lot of times, I'll say two things. I think that sometimes people are using drugs or alcohol or a distressed mental state to be in a different mental place when they go and perform. And I think that can be done healthily, right? There are times I do kind of want to have a cocktail before I go on stage.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be in a place where I need a cocktail to go on stage. There are times you want to go on stage after smoking a joint. There are times where you're like, I'm just going to like run this. I just want to like, you know? And so I think that if you remove getting sober and removing things from your mind, from your habits or your life to put yourself in a state to be creative, you can still alter your mind. Yeah. You could still go into maybe over-sensory things, right? And then shut everything off and then go work. And then, or you can meditate and get yourself into a real, or you could literally go for a run. And as soon as you get back from the run, start painting or start writing or start playing music or whatever it is, and just see what came from like that. Everything, you're literally warm. Everything's warm. Yeah. That's the one thing. The other thing I'll say is a lot of times people, you know, I'll go with like a musician. They can use drugs or alcohol because it shuts out things. They get drunk enough or they get high enough that they don't hear that mother or that father telling them what they're writing is stupid and what they're playing sucks, or maybe it was an uncle or a friend or somebody they thought was a friend saying things that they were never going to do and that they're invalidated them a lot. Yeah. And so being drunk or being high or being on coke or pills or whatever it is tunes that out, right? And sometimes I think that maybe even if it is, I think these are much more medicinal and can be used in the right way. Although I will say anything can be abused. Sometimes the opening up of that third eye is all about closing the other two so that you don't see that person. You don't see those things. It's just, it opens up a free flow of thought. And so if you are maybe not you, or maybe not you, maybe me, who knows? If you are using drugs and alcohol to tune down these censor voices or fears in your life, well, once you remove the drugs and alcohol, you can still tackle tuning those things down. Mm-hmm. Because it isn't about you needed drugs or alcohol to be a great musician. You felt like you needed something to turn down the things that would get in the way of you just freely creating and believing in what you were doing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think that like maybe if it isn't alcohol anymore, then your therapy, like you talked about, would be tackling, well, what is the negative voice you hear every time you go to do that? And if we can start to work on turning that down, you realize you won't need alcohol anymore, and you still will be creating the exact same way. Yeah. Because you turned that off or worked on it. Yeah. Turning that down.
I mean, the talent is clearly
you got
there.
The talent.
I mean, it's not like I'm sitting here saying I've looked at these paintings. First off, I would really like to, if there's a way to write us back and link us in some way. I would love to see the work. Yeah. But I think either way, you are, despite any drugs, despite any mental, unwellness, if that's a word, whatever your position is, I don't think any of those things. Here's what I mean to say. I don't think you are a painter who is incredibly great and super creative because of the things that you describe here as being dark. I think you're that no matter what. And I think you just derived a lot of creative ideas from that dark space because you are an artist. Meaning, you can derive creativity and amazing work from probably a well of any sort of inspiration because that's who you are and what you do. You are not this dark, conflicted artist. You are an artist at just that. So I don't think it has to be labeled what the pieces should look like based on where they come from. I understand that therapy and sitting there and confronting these things. I think there are a number of things that are positive in the world, that are negative in the world, that even if you considered yourself, not that this exists, but if you consider yourself in perfect mental health, that you could sit there and still derive so much from
Your experiences.
the personal darkness that is the mind and the personal darkness that is the world. But there are people that also want to experience the light. And so that is something that also exists for you. And you could show us what that looks like. I may be jumbling my ideas, but I think at the core it makes sense. What I'm trying to say is that I have empathy and I understand the as I said, I also am like, I don't know if I want to cure all this stuff in me because maybe it changes who I am or how I see the world. But because I think at my core that I am funny no matter what, I can only get excited by what changing how I see the world differently might inspire a whole different perspective of comedy that I can communicate to people through stand-up or writing or acting or whatever. I only think that it's all an infinite well of material. No matter what lens you're looking at it through, you're going to always be able to communicate the emotions through painting or whatever medium you choose. Whereas I think Daniel and I, I'm very happy now and I'm comfortable in my life. I'm still doing stand-up. I am not still deriving from childhood trauma as much as maybe I'm unaware that I am, but I don't think that I am. I'm pretty happy. I'm happy right now, and yet still thrilled to be funny and try to make people laugh about any very real topic or very silly, stupid topic. I'm excited to do it all. So it hasn't wildly changed my perspective in that way, or not my perspective, but changed my ability to still create stuff that I like and consider to be art.
Yeah. I agree with you. And you never know what that maybe it sends you to another level that you didn't even know you had in you.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Keep digging.
Yeah.
This is a great letter.
I agree.
I appreciate it, Alex, and I applaud. We both do. Applaud
The coin?
you not doing the coin part, but the fact that you were in an incredibly dark place and you pulled yourself out. You did that. You did it. So never forget that you're capable of something so magnanimous as that. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Rory Scovel
And Scory Van Rory.
Huh.
That isn't even what I meant to say.
I didn't even say that.